What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego back with a quick video. I want to talk about 2014. It's still very early in the year. We've been having some winter weather. At least you guys. I haven't because I'm in California, so it's beautiful out here right now. Um, but we haven't even entered spring, summertime, and I want to know what you guys feel is the best fight that's already official. So not the fights that are still being worked out, like Yuriorkis Gamboa or like a Mayweather, because those fights aren't confirmed. We don't know for certain who Mayweather's fighting. We don't know for certain that Mikey Garcia Gamboa will take place. So out of the confirmed official fights, what is your favorite? I think for me, it has to be Manny Pacquiao versus Timothy Bradley too. And that's what the purpose of this video is for. There's other great fights. I want to explore that. So I'll let you know why I picked that as my favorite official fight. There's other good fights. Canelo versus Angulo. Definitely looking forward to that. We're getting a lot of rematches. You have George Groves versus Carl Froch 2. That's a definitely an extraordinary fight that I want to see, especially based on the controversial nature, similar to Pacquiao-Bradley, in which the first fight happened, or the outcome. You got Chavez making a comeback against Brian Vera, Lomachenko, Orlando Salido. I did a video because it's Lomachenko's birthday. Really looking forward to that fight as well. So there's some good fights that are already scheduled. Danny Garcia, Mauricio Herrera, I'm not too fond of, but it could be a tough fight, could be a good fight. I like Danny Garcia a lot, so I'm always willing to support when he fights, so I'll definitely watch that. You have Carlos Molina making his first title defense against the Charlo brother. Looking forward to that fight. So there's some good ones out there. But as far as my number one pick, the end all be all so far out of what's scheduled, has to be Pacquiao and Bradley. And I think Pacquiao Bradley too, for the simple fact it holds the most weight. The winner of that is going to skyrocket. The loser, not so much. I think the winner of that is going to be the person who definitely shifts on the pound for pound list. Or if you didn't have either guy in your top 10, which I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you didn't for some reason, the winner definitely needs to probably move up a slot based on their performance, unless it's some controversial bullshit. But I think both fighters know going in the controversial nature of the first fight. They know what's at stake. So I'm looking forward to an explosive fight. To me, this fight is very intriguing because we know Pacquiao has not had a knockout since 2009, I believe, against Miguel Cotto. He had the TKO stoppage of Cotto. So, for whatever reason, I've seen interviews where Pacquiao is saying that he doesn't want to hurt people. Maybe it's because of his newfound religion. Maybe he's just older and he doesn't have that killer instinct anymore and maybe lost some of the passion. I don't know. But he has not had a knockout since then. So, quite some time for a fighter who was otherwise walking down bigger opponents and doing it in kind of a Gennady Golovkin fashion for his weight division. Just very forceful, very aggressive speed, and he would commit, and he was a great finisher. So for Pacquiao, he's looking to recharge that, to regain that type of motivation or burning desire to beat Timothy Bradley. He doesn't want to leave any questions. He doesn't want to leave any doubts, and he wants to go after Timothy Bradley. Now, the dangerous part for Timothy Bradley is because if you awoke the sleeping giant in Pacquiao, and we do see the vintage Pacquiao, that spells trouble for Bradley for the simple fact that Pacquiao is hard to deal with. I mean, from the speed, when he implements his head movement, his angles, his power, he's a southpaw. So that's a lot for any fighter to bite off and chew in his respective weight division. So I'm anxious to see how it really is going to turn out, because the other thing is Timothy Bradley doesn't have much pop. He excels because he's a smart fighter. He uses his brain instead of brawn, and he uses his brain, ring intelligence, slipping punches, good defense, great movement, and he's just a thinking man's fighter. So as far as power, he doesn't really have the power to ward off Pacquiao, if you think about it. Some people clown Pacquiao because he got knocked out, but again, he got knocked out by a guy who had 3 shots prior to knock him out and landed the perfect punch, and it knocked him out. I mean, he's human, he's not a robot, he got knocked out. But other than that, Pacquiao has a solid chin, definitely a chin that others have hit him and, I mean, not had the same success that Marquez had in the fourth fight. So Bradley not being that much of a puncher, I'm anxious to see how aggressive Pacquiao comes out. Is he gonna just not respect him because he got a feel for his power in the first fight? So is he just gonna like try to overwhelm him and get him out of there, kind of like he was doing to Marquez in the fourth fight before he got knocked out? He was just trying to throw a barrage of punches and get Marquez out of there. So I'm anxious to see if he's going to do that, because you got to mention that in the first fight with Bradley and Pacquiao, neither fighter, in my opinion, showed their best performance. And Bradley rolled his ankles or whatever, so he was fighting with two left feet, so to speak, and he wasn't at his best. Plus, it was his first fight at 147, so maybe he wasn't fully acclimated as far as Pacquiao. I don't think Pacquiao was in tremendous shape like he has been in the past. In the past, I've seen him very shredded, very athletic, and look ready to go. He even looked better to me, body physique-wise, in the Brandon Rios fight in the weigh-ins than he did against Bradley. He just looked softer than I'm normally used to seeing Pacquiao. So neither fighter, to me, had a great performance. You could say whoever you think won, that's fine, but neither one of them looked exceptionally good. I think Bradley showed way more boxing ability and outboxed the shit out of Marquez. Pacquiao looked very dominant against Brandon Rios. So both fighters in their last fight looked way better than they looked against each other. Now, we're going to see. This is going to be a set the record straight type of fight. How much of it was the fact that Bradley was new to a weight division? He had hurt his ankles early in the fight. We'll see. I think Bradley as a fighter is a tremendous fighter. He's a warrior. He showed you in the Provatnikov fight. That's why I don't see after that fight, despite fuck the controversy in the Pacquiao fight, but I don't see how you can't respect the dude, Timothy Bradley, after the Provatnikov fight. I mean, this dude was knocked out on his feet, still swinging, and somehow, some way was able to bite down and fight himself back into the fight. So that's crazy how Bradley gets no respect to Rodney Dangerfield. I made a video about this, but I think it's a good fight. Bradley, I think he's learned a lot, a hell of a lot since his Pacquiao win. Some people view it as a loss, but officially it was a win. I think he's learned a lot. He got the backlash from the public. People hated him. He went through depression, he said. He ballooned up in weight, and I think he said he was weighing 180 plus pounds, which for other guys, that's not that much. But if you look at his stature, his frame, his height, that's a lot of weight. You know what I mean? He looks buff as shit at 47. So if he was 180, he's probably just like really stocky and wide, can't even fit through doors. You got to go in sideways and shit. So it wasn't a good look. And then he fought a dumb fight, fought with a chip on his shoulder in the Ruslan fight, and nearly paid for it. Fought his way back, held onto his belt, and then he outboxed the shit out of Marquez. So both fighters are coming off good performances. I think Bradley looked good, very good against Marquez, and I was almost a little bit scared and doubtful for him because Marquez is not the person you want to, I guess, have that type of Provatnikov bravado fight like he did with Provatnikov. That's not going to work with Marquez. Marquez will make you pay. So I didn't know how much damage he took. He was saying his speech was slurred for 2 months and things like that, things of that nature. So I didn't know how he was going to look in the Marquez fight. So he looked actually better than I thought. He wasn't really in trouble. He controlled the distance. He controlled the pace, good timing. He really made Marquez look every bit of 40. So Pacquiao, Bradley too. A lot of implications, a lot of talk, both fighters. Bradley said he's going to win every round. Freddie Roach said that the killer instinct is back in Manny and he's training hard. Manny Pacquiao says he has more fights left. I think Freddie Roach said Pacquiao has 4 years left in the sport. So this is a really important fight for Pacquiao's career. Plus, you always have the idea of the Mayweather fight for either guy looming in the background. So I'm sure both fighters are committed to their training, their diet regimen. They want to look good in this fight. And based on the controversy, I mean, enough, fuck the Mayweather thing. That's a huge thing because obviously it's a big payday for either fighter. But even putting Mayweather fight, a potential Mayweather fight in the future aside, it's important for their own careers and their own legacy and their own stats because Bradley's win over Pacquiao has an asterisk over it, and Pacquiao lost his belt to Bradley. So either he's going to get his belt back and clear the air, like, oh, I convincingly beat Bradley, or Bradley's going to do that. He's going to convincingly beat Pacquiao. So there's no doubt, there's no question. And I think that makes for a hell of a fight. So to me, this fight at the moment, out of the scheduled fights, holds the most weight because it holds the most importance. 147 is pretty stacked. You have a lot of young, hungry lions, the Keith Thurmans, the Sean Porters. You also have veterans like Marcos Maidana, who are resurging. Amir Khan, we haven't seen him fight there yet, but he's an exciting fighter. Obviously, you have Mayweather, and we're going to really start narrowing it down, hopefully, to see who is the top currently at 147. And this is a great step in that direction. Hopefully this Cold War punk ass bullshit is eliminated soon and they start making matches. I've already proposed how to make this shit work. It's very simple. Instead of just trying to go for the gusto and make Timothy Bradley versus Mayweather, or make Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather, which are difficult fights based on the Cold War and everything about it, try a lesser fight. Do another fight where it would be fun, like a Lucas Matisse versus Ruslan Provodnikov. Because to both companies, both Golden Boy and Top Rank, those fighters, in my opinion, they probably view those fighters as pretty expendable. Exciting fighters, but if they get a loss for the fans, and it's like the fans' enjoyment and their pocket's sake, I don't think they care. Lucas Matisse just lost to Danny Garcia. He's a fighter from Argentina. He's an excellent fighter. I like him. He's a very solid fighter, very good fighter, power puncher. But he's not the biggest name in the States. And it looks like they're trying to market Danny Garcia, who is a lineal champ at 140. And they're trying to get him some Puerto Rican fan base and a fight in Puerto Rico, build him up. And I think the same thing, that's probably how Top Rank views Ruslan Provodnikov. A good fighter, they probably have a good working relationship, but compared to another fighter, he's probably more expendable. And that's because he doesn't generate the type of dollars that Pacquiao does, or Marquez does, or Cotto does, or Nonito Donaire. That's why Donaire is fighting in Macau, China, fighting, I forgot who they're talking about making him fight, but they don't want to put him back in there with a Rigondeaux right away because that's a cash cow. You know what I'm saying? But test the waters with a lesser fight, a fight that's easier to make with a more expendable, flexible player. And I think like a Ruslan Provodnikov versus Lucas Matisse fight is perfect. It's perfect for both promotional vehicles to work together, orchestrate what network it's on, figure out the flyers, figure out the promotion, the ring girls, figure out the split, and enjoy and get this money together. And as far as boxing, I'm the same way. I'll get money with whoever. As long as you respect me, I respect you. If you're about your money, you're about your business, then I could dig it, and I'm with it. So back to the topic of this video, Pacquiao versus Bradley. To me, this is a very significant fight. There's other great fights like George Groves and Carl Froch, that rematch. Other fights that I want to see, but to me, at the moment, this is the fight that really means the most to me. Canelo versus Angulo. Whoever wins, it's going to be important and important for their career, but it doesn't mean as much. It's not like a Canelo versus Edeslandi Lara or Edeslandi Lara versus Angulo rematch. Those fights are more landmark fights for their weight divisions. And as far as like Mayweather versus Khan or Maidana, if he does select either one of those two, those are just cool fights, but they don't mean that much. If Mayweather defeats Maidana, it's just another name in the hat. It could be a good fight. Maidana could pose problems. He has a puncher's chance, just like all of Mayweather's opponents. Amir Khan, the speed could bother Mayweather. We don't know. We don't know. Khan might look better at welterweight. But a victory over a Khan who has never set foot at welterweight and fought as a professional doesn't mean as much as Timothy Bradley beating Pacquiao or Pacquiao beating Bradley convincingly, vice versa. So really looking forward to that fight. Leave a comment. Let me know what your number one, as of right now, out of the signed fights, the official confirmed fights, what is your favorite fight that you're most anticipating? Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.